here with Ben Milburn. Ben, tell us about your journey with us. How did you find out about Parkview Academy of Sport?
It's from a friend, because obviously I'm close by. I'm at Hermitage. I was at the Hermitage, and just came down for a couple of training sessions. Really enjoyed it. Spoke to yourself about the pathways and what I can do, and yeah, it was just right for me.
So you started off. What was your boys' club that you played for?
I was at Woolwich Park and Hilda Park.
And how have you found the difference from obviously playing boys' club football as an under-16 player to joining the academy, the pre-season, and the football program that we have here?
Well, I've changed completely. I was a centre forward, and now I'm a centre half. Just changed completely, and just put us in the gym 3 times a week. It's helped massively with the physical side.
And tell us about that then. So obviously you came here as a forward player. I remember taking you over to Carlisle United's academy with John and a few of the other boys earlier at the beginning of your start with us. How did that change come about? What was the discussion around you moving from a centre forward to a centre half?
I turned up to a training session. I think it was one of the last ones I went to before I started. John said, "Oh, I think we're going to Sunderland." John says, "Oh, where do you play?" He says, "Centre forward." He says, "No, you're not. You're a centre half." And just from then, just played out there ever since.
And what was your reaction to that then? Were you happy to go along with that? What was your family's reaction?
I was intrigued. My dad hated it. Like my dad, but now he says it's the best thing that's ever happened to us now. But no, I was intrigued and interested to just start really and just get going.
So as part of our programme, we went to St George's Park. We were part of the video assistant referees trial for the Premier League and Football League referees. How did you find that experience?
I really enjoyed it. All the lads just together. We played quite well, and then I think we got the quarter final. Won that game, and then we got the semis. And I think we got beat. We shouldn't really have got beat, but it happens. We'll learn from that, I think.
If I remember rightly, the team that we got beat by, we'd already beaten in the group stages.
Yeah, and I think we thought it was going to be a bit easy just to get to the final. And
I think the format of that tournament as well was you were playing sometimes 2 and 3 games in a day as well because of it. So it's a tough ask. I think the format of the tournament was more to do with the video assistant referees and getting that experience. Did you, throughout that, obviously you got the opportunity to see the truck and the cameras and how that worked? How was that for you?
It was really interesting. We saw, because obviously when we didn't have a game, all the referees, because it was so hot, they would have the doors open and we would have a look in and we would see them. So I think we saw them do like a check on a goal.
Yeah. And I think the great thing about that was we were part of that before it was even introduced to the Premier League and the FA Cup. So it's been a fantastic experience for the boys. So you came here from the Hermitage, as you said. Your passion is obviously to develop as a footballer, but academically you did very well academically. Tell us about the A levels that you studied and how do you find the sixth form at Parkview?
Doing business, sport and science. I was doing maths, but I had to drop that because it was too hard. Yeah. And then, but no, I really enjoy that. It's just something different, something to lay back on if I don't get the football side of it. So.
And how do you find the teaching? How do you find the support from the school? Do you get plenty of support?
Yeah, you get plenty of support. Like if they think that you're not doing very well or you're struggling, then like here we won't. So if we don't do our work, then we won't play in the games. Or so you have to do your work to stay here. Really, do you know what I mean?
And I think that's massively important. We implemented the band list, and you're never on it. You work hard and you get your work done, which is great. So I think from our perspective, we talk about people being student athletes, and so far you've lived that life. Tell us about the teams you play for. So you play for Carlisle United PV. Tell us about last season. What was your experiences of last season?
What in the
National Football Youth League? Yeah.
So We won the championship.
Yeah.
Won every game. I think we conceded about 6 or 7 goals. Scored 100 odd. It was good to get started into that league. See what just dabble into the experience from that, and then I've played in the 19s league last year.
Yeah.
What league was that?
The Northern Premier Division.
Played a couple of games in that. Good experience. Just more physical again, because obviously against tougher players, bigger lads.
And you were down obviously for the cup final as well. You came down to see the cup final and experience that in Hillsborough. What was that like? What was the experience of that like for you?
I think it was quite tough to watch, because I remember the first half. The first half was shocking. All the lads in the stadium thinking what was going on. Then it came out second half, and they just blew them away. But it was really good because we went there to train in the first, before the kick off.
Yeah.
We'd done the warm up and that with them. To train on that pitch, it was a good experience.
And this year you're playing in the National Alliance League, in the Youth Alliance League. We currently sit top of that division, but obviously with the coronavirus, it's been we don't know the outcome of the season. We don't know what's going to happen. How have you found, with obviously a group of 8 teams playing in that league? How have you found that division?
That's a tough league. I think we've got beat a couple of times, but we've played some great games. A couple of games. Gateshead, Shields, beaten both of them. But no, it's a tough league. It's against great players again. Just people that are on trials all the time.
I think the interesting thing for us, we set our sights really high, and with the National Alliance League, there's been some good challenges. The Pontefracts of the world have given us some good games. Eccleshill have given us some good games. We've put in some very convincing performances, beating, as you said, South Shields, beating Gateshead, and we've beaten everybody in the division. I think the interesting thing for us is what will pan out, because it's very, very tight at the top. There's still a couple of teams who can win that division, ourselves and Pontefract. Hopefully you can stay fit in this period of lockdown, and we can conclude those fixtures towards the end, and hopefully rightfully claim the National Alliance League, and move on from that. So yeah, I think it's been a big learning curve for a lot of the players, but a good one. We've been involved in international tours as well, so as part of the season this year we did some international work. Tell us about the trip that you went on, and what was that like?
We went to Croatia. Was it Novigrad?
Yeah.
Went to Novigrad, Croatia. Trained there every day. Trained on the pitches. Then went to the gym. Then had a couple of games. I think we had a game there. Beat the academy. Had to cut it short. It was getting ridiculous. And then, but no, it was a great trip. All the lads just came together.
Yeah.
We bonded so much better there.
I mean, the venue itself is obviously used by Manchester City. It's used by Juventus. The week after, I think there was a tournament there with Bayern Munich, Juventus, Real Madrid. So, what was the services like? What was the facilities like there?
It was fantastic. We were walking across the grass pitches, but obviously the week after, as you say, there was a tournament there, so we weren't on the grass, we were on the Astro. Yeah. And that was it was a special experience.
Yeah. Right on the beach, lovely place. So. Okay, so I think from your perspective, we have a bespoke third year programme, and you're obviously a player that we would like to return into that third year programme. What's your hopes and aspirations for that the next season?
I would love to come back, do a third year here. It's just something I want to do, something without all the education, just focus on football.
I think the great thing about the third year is it allows you to train 2, possibly 3 times a day, full time. We will be looking to develop that into senior football on a Saturday as well, which we've sort of spoken about. So some big announcements to come up on that one. But for us, you may not be staying for the third year, because we might have to chase you out the door. One of the things that's come up recently is you've been offered to trial at Sunderland Football Club with our under-23s. What's your thoughts on that?
I can't wait, to be honest. It's just a bit of a rubbish situation about us coronavirus.
Yeah.
Don't know when you're gonna go, so just gotta stay fit really, and just can't wait to go, to be honest.
But you've been in today and completed all the paperwork for Sunderland, so you know we know that's going to happen. We've had some really good feedback from the scouts at Sunderland, which has been really positive. And I think for you, earlier in the year, you also had a trial at Burnley. What was the experience like going to Burnley and trialling there?
That was a great experience. I mean, that was my first trial ever, so it was just good to get an experience of a bit of a taste of what it's like.
Yeah.
Try to get in. Hopefully, I was hoping for the best, but it just didn't work out. So.
And I think from your perspective, your attitude is outstanding.
I think that was the same with Burnley. Like after Burnley, that was just time to kick on. Really, just shows you you're not that far away from making it.
And I think that's the reason for our third year programme, because boys like you come to us having played junior football as a centre forward and leave possibly with a professional playing contract as a centre half. So I think that's the exciting things. If it doesn't happen at Sunderland, we have a third year programme which is going to progress you even further, and you know hopefully you can follow in the footsteps of someone like Josh King, who's gained that professional contract at York as well. So yeah, from me, we wish you all the best for the coming lockdown period, and hopefully we can get back to things and add some more trophies to your collection, and hopefully you can box on and be the next person from our academy to gain a professional playing contract. Thank you. Just touching on other experiences as well, you played senior football. Obviously you've had opportunities with Morpeth. How's that been for you?
I was on the bench against Shields the other week, and that was a great experience just to get a taste of a high level of men's football.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it.
And as part of the link up we had with Morpeth this year, you got to play in the FA Youth Cup. We had a long and good run in the FA Youth Cup. What was your memories from that?
Well, that was one of the highlights of my season, the FA Youth Cup. It was just such a good experience for all of us. I think playing at the Morpeth pitch, just in front of all the fans and doing well. We went down to, I think it was Scunthorpe, got beat 2-0 down in the first half, got beat 2-1 second half. We should have at least got some out of that game, at least a draw, and we could have won that game, we could have nicked it, but just wasn't meant to be really. I
think that's been one of the interesting things, particularly for this group. This group's been built up as a real top group, and I think the FA Youth Cup, we beat Spennymoor, we beat lots of teams along the way, and had a really good run to get there. We beat Chester and teams like that, and Fylde, who are real strong sort of competitors in the National Alliance League as well. And I think the frustration for us is when we compare you to probably Cat 3 academies, I do believe that this group of players is good enough to Scunthorpe top that Cat 3 academy, and we I think believe as a group that had we not played the occasion, we would have progressed further in the FA Youth Cup. But a great experience to go and play there, and a learning curve to see the boys obviously do well in all the previous rounds, and then get to a stage where it turned up. So yeah, excellent.